reflecting on the game, I go back to Wisconsin and giving them credit for making the necessary plays to win the game. You go back to Iowa, we made the plays to win the game. We hit big shots. Miles had a couple great assists to Curtis and Mike. Lamar made big shots for us, free throw and a layup. And it looked like the tables turned here. At Rutgers and Wisconsin, they made the necessary plays to win the game. They made big shots, they got offensive rebounds. Wisconsin, Kobe King, Lamar was all over him, and he made big-time plays, big-time shots. Davidson's three was deeper than I thought. I didn't think it was that deep. It was deep. It was well beyond NBA. So I give them credit. They out-toughed us on a couple plays, and they made the winning plays and made big shots to beat us. This league is nuts. It's crazy. If you would have told me Purdue was going to win by 30 or 29 yesterday, I would have said no way. And that's what this league's going to be this year. So we have to just keep getting better. And then the past is in the past. We're going to come out and get better today. We'll watch film. Gave a really mental and physical health day yesterday. But I think today's important for us to continue the process of getting a little bit better on the defensive end, although I thought we played pretty good defense. And then on the offensive end, continue doing what we're doing. The guys got to continue to shoot it. I'm sure you're going to say, what are you going to do about shots? Nothing. Keep shooting it. Out of the 21 threes, I thought 3 were bad. I thought all the others were very good. Very good, in rhythm, uncontested shots. And you got to keep taking those. And the right shooters are taking those. Unfortunately, this last week, they didn't make them. They were making them. They just didn't make them this week. So it's going to change. And as you see this league, anything can happen. So we just got to stay the course and keep getting better.
Pat, why were Mike's minutes so limited Saturday?
You know what, Mark? You and I know this answer very well. It's day to day. Day to day. We just got to make sure we understand where he is and manage him. And I think he had a tough start, and that kind of snowballed. And I just got to make the right decisions for him as an individual and for us as a team.
Is he okay physically?
Yeah, he's fine physically.
And is there any strategy element to that, I guess is what I'm getting at. When you have an opposing big guy who can shoot, that hasn't really been Mike's forte.
Yeah.
Do you have to really pick your spots with where you can use him defensively?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I go back to Yurt 7. He played Yurt 7 great. And if you go back when Yurt 7 was NC State, he made a ton of threes. Now, I haven't looked at Georgetown's stats since. But he did a great job against Yurt 7. So I can't buy into the fact that even though Garza and Wesson and now Potter, that was a career game for Potter. Career game. It's unfortunate that it was against us. But it wasn't all on Mike. But I just didn't feel the energy. I didn't think he was totally there for us. And then I thought playing small would give us a little bit more an advantage. And that team brought us back. But unfortunately, I can't play Lamar Stevens 20 straight minutes in the second half because he hasn't done that all year.
Does it make it any easier to get past your own losses when you see just how hectic the Big Ten is this year, and how has the team responded to those back-to-back losses?
Yeah, it's a good point. You know what? They responded well. Group chat yesterday, we're all texting and motivating one another. Guys are coming in sporadically throughout the day. And I think once you look, and of course I'm explaining to them how great and the depth of this league, and you have to really have a short-term memory. Amnesia, if you will, or like a relief pitcher gave up a home run. You got to move on. You got to move on quickly. We're going to learn from our mistakes, and we're going to show some of the good things we did for sure. You got to do that today, but then you got to move on quickly. You got to get to the next practice and just keep this process going.
In game, how do you balance distribution of shots when your shooters aren't making from the perimeter or aren't hitting their percentages versus maybe some of the mid-range stuff that Lamar's going to that might be lower percentage for him, but they're actually going in?
You know what? Lamar's one of the best mid-range jump shooters in college basketball. And I know everybody wants to see him make threes. In the Big Ten, he's at 30%, which is fantastic. But he's got to keep shooting those 15-footers because everybody's loading up because our shooters aren't making shots. Just this week, our shooters aren't making shots. When you're playing motion, it is really equal opportunity. When your guys aren't making shots, well, now we have to go to Lamar, especially since he had it going a little bit. he got a lot of touches. And then he made some good decisions out of there. He was hitting guys for shots and to make plays, and kind of like our point guard or quarterback out of the post, especially because he demands so much attention. He was getting doubled a little bit, or at least they were digging, really over helping. And guys just I'm going to continue to give our guys confidence, and they need that. And this is you can't go away from giving them the green light. If you have a good in rhythm shot, you have to keep shooting it.
Pat, we got to speak to Miles after the game on Saturday, and I don't know if he volunteered or he just didn't say no when Rose asked him to, but that Saturday wasn't the first time this season he went 0 for. I think he's 2 for his last 21 or something, then threes. Why did and he when we asked him, he said he just loves talking to the media, but why does a player like that, what's it say about his character that he came out to speak after a game like that?
He's a big time human being. This is a kid who's living in the gym. That's why it doesn't make any sense that it's not going in. I've shortened practice because these guys live in the gym. He's getting good shots. Look, the character, his integrity, his family, his parents, the way he conducts himself. He's a confident young man. And that doesn't surprise me that he came out and faced the noise a little bit. Just shows you that he has that ability to be a future leader for this team.
You've talked a lot about guys shooting well in practice, and now having seen it, can confirm they seem to shoot pretty well in practice.
You did see that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So seeing that yourself, what do you think the disconnect is between shooting in practice and shooting? There's obviously a lot of environmental differences, but where does that disconnect come in?
Yeah, it's a good point. I thought you were there. I thought we played hard. I thought, we contested our own shots, and our defense is pretty good, and it's not horrible. And they were making them in practice. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a mindset. I don't know if it's preparation. I don't know if it's family or girlfriend in the stands. But somehow, some way, we have to grow and mature and learn from these last 2 games, because it has been all season long. And we really haven't played in the BJC in quite some time. So we just got to, maybe different approach.
And obviously can't speak to everything that Mike's going through on a daily basis, but how self-aware is he of how he can be throughout the course of a game, and the ability to not allow 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, snowball into larger segments? How do you find a way to kind of navigate it through? Because when he's useful and active, he's obviously makes his team very different. But it seems like it's sort of hard to tell, what you're going to get in any minute of play.
It's up to me to manage that, and it's up to him to really respond to that, not react to it, but to respond, foul trouble or just being taken out. I thought for the most part this season he's done a very good job. The last week, not as good. So he said, I don't know if he's aware. I can't answer that question. I don't know. But I know he's really fantastic the next day when we sit down and have a chat about what he needs to do to continue to get better.
Hey, Coach. A few weeks ago, right before the Bucknell game, Isaiah was in here and he was talking about returning to the court for the first time, kind of getting used to, the speed of the game, being back in arena. 16 games into the season, how do you feel he's fit into this program, and what are your thoughts on his contributions so far?
Man, I think he's been fantastic. What a spark off the bench for us on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. And he's still learning our schemes and our rotations and the little things. But I think he's been really in that role as 6th man. He has really accepted it, and he has thrived.
Final question for you, Coach. You've been in this league 9 years. You've seen, a lot of different teams. How would you, critique the depth of the Big Ten this season? You mentioned the games yesterday, and
it really reminds me of maybe my first 2 years that I was here, or at least it felt that way. Anyway, on any given night, if you don't play your best game, you're going to lose. And even when you do play your best game, you still might lose. We weren't great, and give Wisconsin credit. We weren't great at Rutgers, and give them credit. But we got to get better. We got to get closer to great if we want to continue to win. We're 12-4, that's great. We're 2-3, that's great. But we have to show up and compete and play as well as we can and give ourselves a chance. We We just didn't play great, I didn't think, on Saturday. And Wisconsin, the second half, Rutgers second half, we just didn't play well. Is that mental fatigue? Is that, you're a ranked opponent? That's something new for us, that you got the bullseye on your back now and everybody's going to give you your best shot. That's new. And we probably didn't handle that as well as we could have. So that's new territory. So we'll learn and grow from that. But you really got to, this league is amazing. So my first 1 or 2 years in the league, I'll go back then, it was just incredible. And then that's the way it is this year.
This might be too broad, but do opponents scout you based on your most recent games or the breadth of your work this season?
I would say Rutgers is playing the way Rutgers plays. This is who they are. They're going to pack it in, and they're going to dare you to shoot from outside. Wisconsin hasn't changed in 9 years. They're going to play the same way they always play. So if you're not making shots, Minnesota could change up a few things because we haven't made shots in the last 2 games. They could really pack it in. And that's typically not their style of play, but they might.
And I guess in conjunction, do you work that into your messaging then for your shooters in terms of they might have that fraction of a second more of an open look than they might otherwise?
Look, I thought we had good ones, Rutgers and Wisconsin. I think we just somehow need to get the swagger back. They know they have the green light. They never look over me after a shot taken, never. And I don't want them to. So they have to have great confidence, keep taking those shots. They're going to go in. You guys know this. This happens during the course of a year. This is, sometimes you make shots, sometimes you don't. Hopefully we can get on a run here.
Coach, you mentioned Miles and his character and everything off the court. During this, extended slump that he has been on from three-point range, is there anything specifically that, you've talked to him in terms of staying on him and keeping his head up, or have you seen, his teammates, go over to him during the game, practice?
I think we've all, in our own way, I've met with him a bunch of times. We made him a video, videotaping his shot. We've done a lot of things to help him. But it's, sometimes it's just between the ears, and just be confident. Not too many swing thoughts. Just go up there and let it rip and know that we got your back. And I think he understands that. Look, Miles is too good of a kid, too good of a player. He works too hard. And I always say the ball doesn't lie. The ball's got to go in for this kid because he's always in the gym.
Just to follow up to that, I don't think we've really noticed it, but is he showing any signs of frustration at all?
No, that's another thing. He has the one right in front of our bench, great in-rhythm shot and transition. It looked good. It felt good. That's what I'm impressed about. He went right back and played defense. He had the next one, same thing, in and out, and he went right back and played defense. He's a little over 3 rebounds per game. He had 4 monster assists at the end of Iowa. His assist to turnover ratio is very good. He's shooting excellent from the free throw line. I know he tried to get himself a couple 2s there that didn't fall for him. So we'll just keep finding ways to get him some shots.
To speak to that, Caleb and Jack, just over the last 4 games, he's over his average in rebounding, over his average in assists, and then like Coach mentioned, the assist to turnover ratio. Iowa, that was a career best rebounds for him with 7. And then he had 2 steals on Saturday, which tied a career best.
Is there any added pressure Wednesday night, knowing that the crowd you're expecting on Saturday is bigger than usual? Does it add any extra pressure Wednesday night to get a little bit of momentum coming into the BJC Saturday?
It would be great, obviously to get that one on the road since we gave up one, but we got it one day at a time. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. I'm excited about some of the numbers that may be coming in on Saturday. That's fantastic. Played another great team. But we just got to stay present, and we just got to focus on us and really try to get better today in practice, tomorrow, and then when we go there Wednesday, no matter what happens, as long as we compete for 40 minutes, even if we play awesome and we hit 15 threes, you still might lose the game. You got to have a short-term memory. You got to get up the next day, get prepared for ourselves and then Ohio State.
Any other